is not by the light of burning wood that one must seek ancestral man's source of power. The illumination that specifically identifies him came from within. No other creature has man's capacity for creating his own images of in his own image, a symbolic world that both cloudily mirrors and yet transcends his immediate environment. Through his first awareness of himself, man began the long process of enlarging the boundaries of the universe and giving to the dumb cosmic show the one attribute it lacked, a knowledge of what for 4 billion of years had been going on. That was the theme of the story that Benny shared with the children this morning, Born with a Bang. A story that most of us didn't grow up with. Why not? Because the information is too new. But we have that information now, so what do we do with it? As mathematical cosmologist Brian Schwimm describes it, to speak of the universe's origin is to bring to mind the great silent fire at the beginning of time. We can see the dawn of the universe because the light from its edges reaches us only now, after traveling 20 billion years to get here. Scientists have only just learned to see the fireball. The light has always been there, but the ability to respond to it required a tremendous development of the human senses. Now, humans can interact with the cosmic radiation from the origin of the universe. We can now see the beginnings of time. We are the first generation to live with an empirical view of the origin of the universe. We are the first humans to look into the night sky and see the birth of stars, the birth of galaxies, the birth of the cosmos as a whole. And our future as a species will be forged within this new story of the world. So how do we teach that truth to a small child so that she can truly live in the new story, the new cosmology? I suspect that we really can't teach it intellectually at all. We can only share in the experience of it with the upcoming generations. And to do that, we have to become as children again ourselves, steeped in the wonder of that time when everything was new and waiting to be explored. That time before we accepted the worldview that was placed upon us by our parents' and teachers' generation. In many ways, we have to unlearn the way we look at our world. We need to dismantle the answers that we have taken for granted for most of our lives. How do we go about doing that? Well, let me invite you to go back in time to your earliest favorite childhood memory, not the nasty ones, the favorite one. And my earliest childhood memories were visits with my would-be adoptive family near Boston. And because they provided an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance where I could learn and question and grow my authentic self, I've always experienced Boston as a mythic, a Garden of Eden kind of place. This is the meaning of that primal garden story. We all began in a place that we experienced as a perfect paradise, a place we got expelled from in order to grow up, a place we spend a lifetime trying to return to in order to complete our psychic journey to home and wholeness. So go back there and begin to recreate your worldview, for we humans are the babies of the universe. Only this time, try to construct a universal worldview by opening to the truth of light. For instance, try to embody this quote from Science and Spirit magazine. "Let there be light" is indeed a profound statement. The solid, stable world of matter appears to be sustained at every instant by an underlying sea of quantum light. If it is the underlying realm of light that is the fundamental reality propping up our physical universe, then let us ask ourselves, how the universe of space and time would appear from the perspective of a beam of light. Einstein wondered this. The laws of relativity are clear on this point. If you could ride a beam of light as an observer, all of space would shrink to a point, and all of time would collapse into an instant. In the reference frame of light, there is no space and time. If we look up at the Andromeda galaxy in the night sky, we see light that, from our point of view, took 2 million years to traverse that vast distance of space. But to the beam of light radiating from some star in the Andromeda galaxy, the transmission from its point of origin to our eyes was instantaneous. For as Maria Montessori puts it, only when a child is able to identify its own center with the center of the universe does education really begin. Do you hear the difference between identifying your center with the center of the universe and behaving as though you are the center of the universe? Okay, consider this. In terms of quantum mechanics, you, as an individual body, are represented by a particular quantum state. This includes all the elementary particles in your body. When you are intensely watching something, the photons of light reflected from that thing interact with your own elementary particles, and through this interaction, your quantum state is changed. According to Schwinn, your particles are new, in the sense that they have absorbed something from those other photons and entered a new state of being. You have become a brand new human being, resonating with what you have absorbed. This is why sports fans become so involved in the game they're watching. They are literally interacting molecularly with what's going on. So tonight, go out and consciously participate in the equinox. Get up tomorrow morning with the sun and open to the truth of its light. Dawn and dusk are the gateways to the great liturgy of the universe itself. But if that's still too abstract for you, find yourself an image, a symbolic way to experience a sense of living in a universe. Children are very literal, but we adults create metaphors that bridge between reality and our experience of it. I dare suggest this because that is what I am currently doing. Let me explain. Several weeks ago, my 5-year-old Prius, Gaia, fainted out on me twice over the course of a week. I explained my situation to the saleswoman and asked her to work with me on finding a way to have a car while waiting for another hybrid. She offered to speak to the manager. He came back with her to where I was sitting, and he announced someone had ordered a Prius, it had arrived, and this person had changed his mind. It was mine if I wanted it. It wasn't even in the computers yet, so nobody but the manager knew it was available. Sold. It is sitting out in my parking space. You will notice it is very, very, very white. Gaia was blue-green like our home planet, thus her name. But what am I going to name a white car? The only name that made any sense is Star. She is as white as the lights appearing in our night sky, and the name Star reflects Star King School, as well as Star Island off the coast of New Hampshire, where I spent work-study time this summer. I was laying on granite outcropping rocks beneath the Milky Way watching shooting stars. So when I climb into my star white car, I mentally remind myself that I'm living in a cosmos. And yes, I thank my lucky stars that there was a Prius available when I needed it.